Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another car video. Let me get this started. Yeah, yo. The only way the money game really works, or the way to work the money game, I don't know, I'll put one of them up there, right? And check it out. Because I know, well, interestingly enough, this morning, I was going to talk about why I don't promote it. If y'all notice, I don't really promote just getting some money and having all that money and status to get a woman. Y'all notice I never promote it. I always say get money for yourself, right? But that being said, you can get a woman without necessarily being a trick with money. But it's more than just having like money in your account. You could have $1 million in your account and still not get a woman. Right? You could have $1 million, you could have all the money, all your bills paid, everything, still not get a woman. In fact, a lot of guys who would be seen as non-select got money. And we know it. People say, well, I got this and I'm educated, but Pookie and Ray Ray getting the women. Yeah, okay, yeah, but, and Pookie and Ray Ray ain't spending money. Right? But you get the guys who insist upon it. But see, it's deeper than just having money. Let me break down how that is. First of all, anybody who's read my book, Nice Guys and Players and Even Sexual Chemistry, right? You know, I talk about 4 general categories of men, even beyond the select, non-select. You know, Mr. Goodbar, the masked man, the gamesman, and the nice guy. Now, the nice guy is non-select, but they generally have money, or at least a steady job. Some gamesmen do too, though most gamesmen tend to be struggling financially. And then I talked about, you know, Mr. Goodbar, women throw the panties at him. But then you talk about the masked man. Now, the masked man, he select, not on the same level as Goodbar, but he still select. Women will check for him. But whereas women will throw the nanny at Mr. Goodbar, they'll check out the masked man, but he might have to take him on a couple dates first. And that's cool. But it's deeper than just having money. Because see, if you just have money and you just going to throw it at a woman, right, you be like willing to pay for everything. All that really draws ultimately are acculturated prostitutes. And shout out the pimp god, he would call them acceptable hoes. You know. Those are women, it should, in fact, that's a lot of the women talking about they leveling up and stuff. They want the bag. And if you throw them the money, it's like, oh yeah, they pay attention and everything. Now, the money game, to be select, is actually deeper. It's more than just having the money, right? First of all, don't think that when you run in the money game, you got to have a degree of looks. I'm serious. Now, you know, I've talked on here, I said some women checking for an ugly dude and everything, and they are. But the ugly dude just got to have that sex appeal like that. Like, if that dude ugly, but he got that print a woman like, or he give off the impression he could fuck the shit out of her, yeah, get it. Not so with the masked man. He got to be handsome. Or some degree of handsome. Right? Even if he got, I don't care how much he got to really make it work to be select with money. He got to have some degree of handsome. He got to have a good body build, because I know, I ain't going to call the gentleman's name, but this dude, he actually worked to become a masked man, right? But he had to put on 30 pounds of muscle, so he still had to have the body. He still had to have the body, so you basically, you got to look, you still got to be physically attractive, even if you don't have that, like, raw sex appeal. And just to be clear, physical appearance and sex appeal aren't the same thing. A woman can find an overweight man sexy. It's just better if he's in good shape. But, you know, but he has to have it. It's like a good bar don't have to be like standardly handsome. But a masked man has to be, he has to have a good body. He has to have the physicality. Okay, that's one check. Just having the money isn't enough. You got a lot of people who have money, but they might, you know, drive an ordinary car or something like that. The masked man, the money man's environment, for it to really work, he has to live in an exclusive neighborhood, or at least a high rent neighborhood, and his crib got to be tight. His house got to be tight. Whether, and it can't, even if it's just an ordinary apartment, It can't be just some apartment, just any place. At the minimum, it got to be a luxury apartment in an expensive neighborhood. If not an apartment, like one of those really tight condos or something, right? Or if a house, it gotta be some thorough house in a thorough neighborhood. You gotta have that environment. And then when you go in there, you can't have nothing looking cheap. Everything gotta look expensive, right? You gotta have that whole environment. And then, even if he driving a car, he might keep a hoopty or something just to like weave through some women, right? But he gotta have that real expensive car. He can't have just some ordinary like economy car to call himself saving money. He gotta push that BMW or Infiniti or Mercedes, or if he can push that real sports car, that's even the best thing of all, right? He gotta push all of that. And so he gotta have a certain look. He gotta have, you know, the money. That's just the base. That's just the tool to get him all the stuff. He gotta have that environment. But then he has to have a certain status. Here's the problem. You can be a blue-collar man, right? You can be a blue-collar man. You can make all the money in the world and stuff, you know, in your blue-collar profession. Probably make more money than some professionals, to be honest. But for that to really, like, turn on women just a bit, you got to be a professional, too. Because remember, you gotta be like, if you use the octane scale that BGS has like originated and Cousin T-Tal has added to, particularly with the scale for the men, you gotta be at least a 92 octane. And then when you talk about status, also educated. I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you. Because when you start, because at that level, when you go up in level, see, it's more than just having the money, but it's the level of women. Because one thing, the money gives you access to a certain amount of women. And like, if you just want, when you deal with women as they go up, as they get an education, they get that piece of paper, they making that money themselves. They looking at your status as far as, are you on the same level as them, right? And they tend to be more attractive. As you go up in class, the women become more and more attractive. But see, you got to be at that same class level. And that class level is more than just the money. People think it's just the money. It's like, no, it's what do you do for a living? Like I said, and I mean, this is just a sad thing. You can be a blue-collar man and shoot, you could own $1 million business. But can you go to high-class affair or something? Are you dealing in that world where the dudes, where you got real money men, where you going to get those fine women? Are you going to be at that more elitist level? And that's very key. That's very key. Like if you look in the community, or, you know, Cousin T-Tal just focused on the black community, but that's in all communities, really. Because like where I live now, you got a lot of high-heeled white women. But the guys they deal with are high-heeled as well. So if the woman is an attorney, accountant, or anything professional, got a professional degree, rest assured her husband got the same thing and more. So that's a very key thing. And all of it, and now here's the thing though. Here's the thing. You can still have all those things and not be considered select. See, here's a key to it. If you're going to have the money thing is just the tool. It's up here. It's your attitude. It's your attitude, how you carry yourself. You got to have a certain attitude. And you got to carry yourself in a certain way. And there's one key word for that, power. You got to have power to make shit happen. To control shit. Because that's an aphrodisiac to women in itself. Not so much the money, but the power. See, a lot of guys got money, but they don't carry themselves with power. And it's like, you know, ultimately you can't force anybody to do something just off yourself or money, but they are influenced by your money. Like you go to certain places, restaurants, they know you got a lot of money. Shit, you get better customer service, right? Also, if you got power, you that type, you can make something happen. You know, you can influence people, you know? And you can have that type of power. Like a true mass man, a true money man, he can't just be the man making money. He can't necessarily just be the attorney. He need to be the head of that law firm. He can't just be the doctor. He got to be the head of surgery or something, or the administrator. You know, he got to be the one who runs shit, and he got to have that attitude. And see, that's the thing though, that hits women on a subliminal level. Even if you got money, you got to walk and talk like you got money. You got to carry yourself. You got to hold yourself like it's nothing. Like, you know, you can make it happen. Like, you can go any place and just throw your money into something. You know, or you can make it happen. Or you real calm. And then you got to have kind of a controlling nature to you, too. Like, a lot of guys that got money, they so busy putting a woman up on a pedestal, they basically simps. They basically betas. Like, oh, you so beautiful. And all that. No, if you got that money and power, you got to look at the woman like she could be a dime. She could be a dime, but you got to carry it like, honey, you got to impress me. Like, seriously. And that's hard for a lot of guys. A lot of guys say that, but as soon as you put a dime in their face, they change your personality. You got to be that type. You keep it like you the prize. You know, you got to have that attitude. It's got to show in your behavior, because a lot of people will say that, but then I've seen so many times some dudes, they were doing pretty well financially. As soon as they got around that fine woman, they changed up. Nah, you got to be the bomb. You got to, and that's why I say it's a total thing. It's not just saying, it's not just the thing of just having the money. Like I said, you got plenty of people out here got some money. But you gotta look a certain way. You gotta look a certain way. You gotta be at a certain level. This is very, very key. Like your status, it can't just, and when I say status, I'm going to be real with you. It can't just be people know who you are. You got to be in a status of power. Like the managers up here. Like I said, if you look at Cousin Tito's, when he did that video I referred to yesterday, when he was talking about the diesels and everything, there's a chart in there that he has. And, I mean, even though it's applied to the black community, you can apply it overall. And you would need to be at least a 92 octane, a minimum to really make it work. I'm saying at a minimum, right? At least to make the money work. Now, you could be whatever if you're doing the good bar path, you know, which is honestly more than closer to diesel anyway. But you got to be that or a master of the universe, like some serious shit. Like I said, you gotta have that thing. You gotta have some power. You gotta have that fat crib. You gotta, you know, have people bend over for you, like do whatever you need them to do, because you walking with some power. The power gotta drip off of you. Like I said, but the women gotta feel it. Like, and you know, so that's like your attitude, how you walk in everything. Like if a dude trying, like if he got like some insecurities or something, I don't care how much money you got, you ain't seen as select. At best you seen as a trick. So that's how you work that money game. If you got to work it, it's hard. There's not a lot of people up there who really work it. Now there's plenty of people who got money, plenty of people who got some money and they can buy whatever for the woman to an extent or take her out. And women usually use those guys, but if you want to be at the highest level, the select level of the money game, you gotta walk, talk, carry yourself, live in power. Everything gotta say power about you. Everything from your clothing. Oh, I forgot to mention clothing. Your clothing better look expensive. You better look like you get this shit tailor-made from a personal tailor or something like that, and the shoes are fly as hell. And that's just the reality of it. So anyway, that's all I got. Tomorrow I'm gonna tell you why I never get into that game anyway. Yeah. And real quick, for people on my membership thing, check out the membership side. I'm gonna have on the membership side, I'm gonna be talking about females who be stalking men. So that's something, because you know, on my membership side, that's when I'm getting into issues that affect distinctly select men. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all. And getting into the membership side, just hit that join button under the video. There should be a join button there. All right. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all. Peace.